Hi, my name is Lieutenant Gary Aswalt, and welcome to a tour of tiny high-rise, aka Das Haus. That's right, the legendary German house is back, and for good reason, since it's the only Vanguard map you can actually remember. Swapping the dark and honestly depressing atmosphere of the original for a more bright and lively vibe, I think works pretty well. Especially now that they just went and swapped the already drab, rainy shipment for the somehow more drab MW3 shipments in regular rotation. Are these dead bodies in the crates? How is this Christmas themed? And the difference between versions of Das Haus couldn't be clearer right off the bat. With this one being dropped in the city that never sleeps, New York, New York. Man, you know, for a game without the Battle of New York, there sure are a ton of maps set here. Maybe they're just teasing it for the next game with all the hints that Makarov is here, planning an attack, as seen from these photos and pictures of the city scattered around his command center. All it's missing is one of those I Heart New York t-shirts that I swear I'm being gaslit into believing are even real because I've never seen someone wearing one in real life. And fun fact, Das Haus is actually located just down the block from good old High Rise. In fact, you can actually see the map from atop the skyscraper here. But Makarov must be using some kind of BO2 cloaking tech to hide this location, because from High Rise, all that you see in this direction is a nondescript building and fog. Lots of fog. Now this map, of course, is one of Call of Duty's now signature postage stamp-sized tiny maps. But the thing that makes Das Haus stand out among all the others we have in the game, besides the German accent, is that Das Haus is actually a rectangle. Haha. Now how's that for German engineering? And that means that the layout is a bit more linear and two-sided, with actual spawns that you start and will continue to be trapped inside of until the score limit's reached. You can always tell which spawn you're in by the color scheme, with the north side being orange and the south side feeling a little dabba-dee-dabba-die, if you know what I mean, covered in American flags that you must legally stop at and recite the Pledge of Allegiance every time you pass. It's the law. Now everyone knows what happens when you mix the orange of one spawn with the blue of the other, right? Correct! You get green. And I love these teachable moments, perfect for the target audience of these maps. Connecting the spawns are three mostly green lanes, and the middle one is basically just a super highway between them, letting you go from 0 to 0 again in under 5 seconds. While the west end is made up of two short hallways that eventually meet at the horizontal peak of a mountain in the middle, making for a tight choke point and many accidental jump and crap moments. Meanwhile, the other end cuts straight through what used to be the Oval Office. Though still oval-shaped, this lane actually replaces the middle as the one that snipers will just park in front of and watch, trying to find their place in a sandbox that just doesn't want them anymore. Compared to the original, this version of Das Haus somehow feels both more open and more restrictive. Vanguard's signature destructible cover that used to litter the entire map is gone, making it flow just about the same as it did back then after 30 seconds of fire shotguns and shotgun fire. Doors are also mysteriously gone, despite being featured in the rest of the game. My personal guess is it's because they aren't destructible anymore, so they would actually change up the flow of the map pretty significantly. And we just can't have that, guys, right? This all leads to the map feeling a lot less cluttered than before, which is great for visibility, and I actually think that this version somehow plays slower than the original. But something about the character and the feel of the original has just been baked out and replaced with generic construction site vibes. Like, what does Das Haus even mean in this context now? Why would they keep that name? I mean, I would have just called it Das High, as in Das really high up in the sky. All right, that's my time, everyone. Thank you, oh, thank you so much. And that's where I'll end today's tour. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, check out the last one we did on Stash House. And everyone else can exit through the gift shop, where you can peruse our new Make This Das Haus a Das Home collection of home decor. It's selling very slowly.